5. Calcium-rich foods you need to include in your diet after 50. Did you know that a simple change in your diet can protect your bones for years? Imagine a food that strengthens your bones, improves heart health, and even gives you a boost of energy. That's right, calcium is a true ally, especially after 50. But do you know where to find it? Most people only think of dairy when it comes to calcium, but there are many other incredible sources of this mineral that can easily be incorporated into your daily routine. Have you ever considered how a simple meal can be both rich in essential nutrients and absolutely delicious? Now imagine if I told you that some of these foods are hidden treasures right in your pantry. Not only do they help keep your bones healthy, but they also offer benefits far beyond what you might expect. Stay with me. With each second, you're getting closer to a more vibrant and healthy life. Let's discover together how these foods can make a real difference in your mental and physical health. And of course, who wouldn't want to feel stronger and more energized? Get ready to dive deep into the world of calcium. The importance of calcium for health. After 50. When I turned 50, I realized that my bone health needed special attention. Calcium is one of the key nutrients for keeping our bones strong and healthy, and its importance cannot be underestimated. As we age, bone density tends to decrease, increasing the risk of osteoporosis. This condition, which makes bones more fragile and prone to fractures, is a real concern for many men and women my age. The relationship between calcium and bone health is straightforward. Calcium is essential for the formation and maintenance of bones. Without sufficient calcium, our bodies begin to draw this mineral from our bones, which can lead to serious problems. That's why it's crucial for those of us over 50 to pay close attention to our calcium intake. Talking with friends in the same age group, I've noticed that many are unaware of just how vital this is. Beyond osteoporosis, calcium also plays a role in several other bodily functions, such as muscle contraction and blood clotting. By taking care of our bone health, we're also supporting other important areas of our body. So, including adequate sources of calcium in our diet is a way to ensure we remain active and healthy. Fortunately, there are many ways to make sure we're getting enough calcium. The key is to be proactive and mindful of our food choices. It's not just about consuming calcium, but understanding it as an ally in maintaining our quality of life after 50. This awareness is an important step for anyone who wants to age healthily. It's also important to remember that we're not alone on this journey. Consulting healthcare professionals and nutritionists can help us create a diet plan that meets our specific needs. After all, health is an investment we make every day, and calcium is an essential part of that investment. Dairy as a primary source of calcium. Dairy products are undoubtedly one of the most well-known sources of calcium. When I think about enriching my diet, milk, cheese, and yogurt are the first things that come to mind. A glass of milk can contain around 300 milligrams of calcium, which is a significant amount. For someone like me, looking to keep my bones healthy, including these products in my daily routine seems like a smart choice. Cheese is also a great option, although calcium levels can vary widely depending on the type. Hard cheeses like Parmesan are particularly rich in calcium, while fresh cheeses may have less. Besides calcium, dairy products are also packed with protein and other essential vitamins, making them a way to get multiple benefits at once. Yogurt, on the other hand, is a delicious and versatile alternative. I like to mix it with fruit, granola, or even use it in smoothies. In addition to being high in calcium, yogurt contains probiotics, which are excellent for gut health. This combination of nutrients makes dairy products an almost irresistible choice for anyone looking to stay healthy after 50. It's important to be mindful of the options we choose. Some dairy products can be high in fat and sugar, which aren't ideal for overall health. Opting for low-fat versions can be a good strategy to maintain calcium intake without compromising cardiovascular health. Dark, leafy greens. When it comes to calcium, many people immediately think of dairy. but dark leafy greens are also an excellent source of this mineral. I always try to include a good amount of kale, broccoli, and spinach in my diet, especially after turning 50. These vegetables are true superfoods, packed with nutrients that benefit bone health. Kale, for example, is a calcium powerhouse. A cup of cooked kale can contain around 200 milligrams of calcium. Plus, it's rich in vitamins A and K, which are also important for bone health. Incorporating kale into meals is simple. I like to sauté it with garlic or toss it into salads. It's a delicious way to boost calcium intake. Broccoli is another favorite on my table. Not only is it rich in calcium, but it also contains compounds that can help combat inflammation and strengthen the immune system. I love steaming broccoli and seasoning it with a bit of olive oil and lemon. This not only enhances the flavor, but also maximizes its nutritional benefits. Spinach, on the other hand, is often associated with strength, thanks to the famous cartoon character. But seriously, it's also a great source of calcium. Although it contains oxalic acid, which can interfere with calcium absorption, that doesn't mean we should avoid it. We just need to balance its intake with other calcium sources. To optimize calcium absorption from these greens, we can pair them with foods rich in vitamin C, like citrus fruits, bell peppers, or tomatoes. Vitamin C helps neutralize the effects of oxalic acid, allowing the body to better absorb calcium. With every meal, I'm reminded that small changes can have a big impact on bone health over time. Calcium-rich seeds and nuts. When it comes to adding calcium to your diet, seeds and nuts are nutritional treasures that shouldn't be overlooked. I always make it a point to include chia seeds, sesame seeds, and almonds in my meals. Not only are they rich in calcium, but they also offer a variety of other health benefits, such as healthy fats and fiber. Chia seeds, for example, may be small, but they pack a punch. Just 2 tablespoons can provide around 180 milligrams of calcium. I like to add them to smoothies or yogurt because they help increase satiety and are an easy way to boost calcium intake. Plus, they're rich in omega-3 fatty acids and antioxidants, making them an excellent addition to any diet. Sesame seeds are another valuable ally. Often used in Asian cuisine, I love sprinkling them over salads or rice dishes. 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds can provide about 88 milligrams of calcium. They're also a good source of protein and add a delightful crunch to any dish. Almonds also deserve a special mention. They're rich in calcium and make for a great snack option. Whenever I feel hungry between meals, a handful of almonds is the perfect solution. In addition to providing around 76 milligrams of calcium per serving, they're also a source of vitamin E and antioxidants, which help protect the body's cells. Incorporating these seeds and nuts into your diet is a practical and tasty way to ensure adequate calcium intake. With a bit of creativity, you can find many ways to add them to your daily meals. With each bite, I feel like I'm taking care of my health, ensuring that my bones stay strong and healthy as I age. It's always good to remember that variety is key. Mixing different seeds and nuts not only helps with calcium intake, but also makes meals more interesting and nutritious. By exploring these options, I'm doing the best for my body and, in turn, for my quality of life. Fish with edible bones. I've always been a fan of fish, but I never really thought about the importance of including fish with edible bones in my diet. Sardines and salmon, for instance, are nutritional powerhouses. Besides being delicious, they are an excellent source of calcium. The bones in sardines, for example, are entirely edible and packed with nutrients. It's a practical way to ensure I'm getting the calcium I need without any hassle. And let's be honest, there's nothing like a good plate of grilled sardines or roasted salmon. Not only do they provide calcium, but they're also rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which are fantastic for heart health. And who doesn't want a healthy heart, right? This combination of nutrients helps keep us in top shape, especially after 50, when we need to be even more mindful of what we put on our plates. Another thing I love to highlight is the convenience. Canned sardines, for example, are a quick and easy option. They can be added to salads, pasta dishes, or even a sandwich. This makes life so much easier, especially when you're on a tight schedule. And believe me, you can still impress your friends with a simple and tasty recipe. Moreover, these fish are affordable and can be found at any market. There's really no excuse not to include them in your diet. And contrary to what some might think, the taste is quite pleasant. Often, a simple marinade can turn a meal into something special and nutritious. Calcium-fortified products. One thing I've recently discovered is the wonder of calcium-fortified products. There are plant-based milks, juices, and even cereals that come enriched with this essential mineral. For someone like me, who's looking for alternatives to cow's milk, these options are a real game changer. Almond milk, for example, is a great choice and has a pleasant taste. I used to think that only dairy could provide quality calcium. But as I explored fortified products, I realized there are many ways to get it. The great thing is that these foods can easily be incorporated into your daily routine. Starting the morning with a fortified cereal and a glass of enriched juice is a practical way to ensure I'm taking care of my health. And it doesn't stop there. Some yogurts are also being fortified, and they taste amazing. Not only do they taste great, but I'm also getting my calcium intake without much effort. It's a way to stay healthy while enjoying the foods I love. One tip I always follow is to check the labels. The amount of calcium can vary quite a bit, and since I'm aware of how important this mineral is, I always keep an eye out. Plus, these products are often a lighter, lower-calorie alternative to traditional dairy. Now let's talk about vitamin D, which, believe it or not, is calcium's inseparable partner. I knew it was important, but I had no idea how much vitamin D impacts the absorption of this mineral. The truth is, without vitamin D, all that calcium I'm consuming won't be fully utilized by my body. It's like having a new car, but no fuel. So, how do we get this vitamin D? Sun exposure is the most natural way. I've tried incorporating some outdoor walks into my routine, and not only did my vitamin D levels go up, but I also felt more energized. Of course, we can also find it in certain foods, like fatty fish and egg yolks, but still, sunlight is unbeatable. Another thing I've learned is that vitamin D and calcium work together to strengthen bones. This is especially important for those of us in our 50s. I've realized that if I don't maintain this balance, I could end up compromising my bone health over time. And who wants that, right? There are also vitamin D supplements, which can be a good option, especially if you can't get regular sun exposure. A friend of mine started taking them and noticed a significant boost in his energy and mood. Of course, it's always wise to consult a doctor to do this in the best way possible. So, the lesson for me is clear. It's not enough to just focus on calcium. I need to make sure vitamin D is part of my daily routine. Together, these two are unbeatable when it comes to bone health. Once we hit 50, our health starts demanding a bit more attention, especially when it comes to calcium. The recommended daily intake varies, but generally for men and women in this age group, the guideline is around 1,200 milligrams per day. It might sound like a lot, but let's think about how we can spread this out throughout the day. If you're like me and have already crossed that age, it's time to take a closer look at what's on your plate. The good news is that you don't have to consume it all at once. I, for instance, like to divide my calcium intake across several meals. I start the day with a good yogurt at breakfast, which already gives me a decent amount of calcium. Throughout the day, I try to include a handful of almonds or some kale in my meals. This way, it all adds up, and before I know it, I've reached my daily goal without much effort. Another important point is individual needs. Everyone has their own specific requirements, so it's always a good idea to consult a nutritionist. This professional can help tailor your calcium intake to suit your lifestyle and overall health. It's also important to remember that calcium absorption can be influenced by factors like age and health status, so extra care is needed. We also shouldn't forget the importance of a varied diet. Sometimes we focus solely on dairy and overlook other calcium-rich sources like vegetables and seeds. By doing so, we can not only meet the recommended intake, but also enrich our diet with different nutrients and flavors. Keeping a food diary can be a useful tool. Writing down what you eat helps you see if you're meeting your calcium goals, while also motivating you to mix things up throughout the week. After all, health is a continuous commitment. Another aspect I can't overlook is how certain nutrients can interfere with calcium absorption. It's common to think that by consuming calcium-rich foods, we're doing everything right, but the truth is, some components can hinder this absorption. For example, excessive sodium, which we often consume without realizing it, can lead to calcium loss through urine. Caffeine is another culprit we should watch out for. I used to drink several cups of coffee a day, thinking it wasn't a problem. However, studies show that excessive caffeine intake can reduce calcium absorption. So, if you're a fan of a good cup of coffee, it might be wise to moderate the amount and compensate with a higher calcium intake throughout the day. Additionally, phosphorus, found in many processed foods and sodas, can also affect calcium absorption. The relationship is simple. Too much phosphorus in the body can lead to lower calcium levels. That's why it's important to be mindful of what we're consuming, especially with processed foods that often contain high levels of phosphorus. The good news is that by balancing your diet and making more conscious choices, you can avoid these interferences. Replacing sodas and processed snacks with healthier options not only helps with calcium absorption, but also brings other health benefits. In the end, it's all about finding balance. Moderation is key. By understanding how different nutrients interact, you can make smarter dietary choices, ensuring that the calcium you consume is actually utilized by your body. And who says healthy eating has to be boring? One of my favorite parts of learning about calcium was discovering delicious recipes that incorporate these foods. For example, a green smoothie with spinach, banana, and a handful of chia seeds is an amazing way to start the day. It's not only tasty, but also packed with nutrients, giving you a good dose of calcium right in the morning. Another recipe I love is a broccoli salad with feta cheese, which adds a special touch to the dish. Simply steam the broccoli briefly and mix it with the cheese and a drizzle of olive oil. It's a great way to include calcium-rich vegetables in your diet, and the combination is simply delicious. And how about a quick snack? I like to prepare a mix of nuts and seeds, like almonds and sesame seeds, to have on hand. It's a healthy, energy-packed option for when hunger strikes, and it's an easy way to boost your calcium intake throughout the day. Still thinking about recipes, I can't forget to mention the classic omelette. By adding cheese and spinach, you turn a simple dish into a calcium-rich meal. It's a perfect option for lunch or dinner, and one I always recommend. Finally, try making homemade yogurt with fruit. Using milk as a base, you can add your favorite fruits and a bit of honey. It's a healthy dessert that, besides being delicious, is an excellent source of calcium. These small changes in the kitchen can make a big difference in your bone health. So, everyone, now that we've explored these 5 calcium-rich foods that can transform your health after 50, it's time to reflect. Have you ever,